The crown prince I'd married for the alliance had fallen for the top courtesan of a brothel. He'd even lit a sky lantern to buy her freedom. Just as I knelt to beg the emperor for a divorce decree, a dense flurry of bullet comments suddenly flashed before my eyes. My girl, don't do it. The crown prince is just trying to get your attention. Don't divorce him. Just bat an eyelid red with tears, and he'd give you his life. My face remained impassive as I knocked my forehead heavily 3 times on the ground. Your Majesty, I beg you to bless the crown prince's affection and grant me a divorce decree. The bullet comments exploded the moment I stepped out of the palace. My poor girl, the crown prince only has eyes for you. How will he live if you leave? He's just a stubborn fool. He wants his little girl to dote on him more. And now he's messed it up. Calm down everyone. Later the crown prince will use his power to threaten the Shen family, and our girl will have to beg him to take her back. Then she'll fight with that courtesan over jealousy every day, and the crown prince will be over the moon in secret. I shot a cold glance at the comments when my carriage was forced to a halt. I flung back the curtain and locked eyes with Xiao Jiyun. He had the brothel's top beauty nestled in his arms, noticing my dark expression. The corner of his lips curled upward in a smirk. I had no desire to argue with him and stepped down from the carriage, intending to leave by another way, but Xiao Jiyun grabbed my sleeve without a second thought. Unhappy, I yanked my sleeve free. No, I did not realize this was the crown prince's carriage. My apologies for the intrusion. Seeing the beauty's scowl, I added coolly, "May the crown prince and his fair lady be forever loving." Chapter 2. The moment the words left my mouth, his face darkened, and his grip on my arm tightened. The beauty rolled her eyes. "Who do you think you are, interrupting our stroll?" She flicked a newly pierced earring by her temple and shot Xiao Jiyun a coquettish look. "Jealous no one buys you pretty things like this." My voice was calm. "Do you know he has a wife?" She froze, then snorted. "A clan alliance marriage, no love involved. Just a yellow-faced wife sitting at home collecting dust." Xiao Jiyun let out a low chuckle. He lowered his lids, his dark eyes pinning me in place. My expression never wavered as I nodded. I glanced at his long, bony fingers still wrapped around my wrist. "Let go." Xiao Jiyun did not move, his gaze sharp. "I will not accompany you to the spring banquet the day after tomorrow." The beauty stared in shock for a heartbeat. She sized me up, then grinned. "Oh, so you're the yellow-faced wife. So what? Jiyun is spending the banquet with me." I lowered my eyes, thinking the divorce decree would arrive tomorrow. "Very well," I said. "Can you let go now?" Xiao Jiyun froze, his face clouding over. "You're still going? With who?" Images of several young, well-born crown princes, handsome and well-built, flitted through my mind. I spoke earnestly. "I haven't decided yet. But I'm sure I can pick someone nice when I get home and look." The air fell into a deathly, heart-stopping silence, save for the furtive glances cast our way from all around. The bullet comments popped up again. "Oh my God, the crown prince is furious. Crown prince, can't you just blink back tears and soften up? Must you infuriate me? My girl, act coquettish, cry a little. Don't waste your beauty and his love for you. Honestly, stop being stubborn. When the crown prince loses his temper, who knows what he'll do? He'll crush your family and lock you up, and then you'll be obedient." "Shen Shu, well played," Xiao Jiyun ground out, his voice dropping to freezing point. He released his grip. I stepped forward, glanced at the earrings dangling at the beauty's neck, then fixed Xiao Jiyun with a deep stare. "You once said you drew this design with your own hands, and you'd give it only to me." With that, I turned and walked away. Xiao Jiyun chased after me, his tone unreadable. "You remember, but I don't want it anymore. She acts coquettish with me, hovers around me every day, and she calls me husband." Xiao Jiyun's voice was low and thick, so that was why he'd given the earrings he'd promised me to her. A wave of nausea rose in my throat and stomach. The bullet comments erupted at his words. "He's hinting at you. The crown prince can't hold back anymore. Heh, my girl, call him husband once, and he'll give you everything. He dreams of you calling him husband every night. He even has to change his bed sheets when he wakes up. I stopped and met Xiao Jiyun's eyes, every word sharp and clear. True, from now on, I'll act coquettish with other men, and call other men husband, and they'll fulfill every wish of mine. Say that again. Xiao Jiyun's voice was colder than I'd ever heard it. His large hand clamped down on my shoulder, his grip so tight it felt like he would crush my bones to dust. Just then, the beauty who'd followed us spoke up timidly. Jiyun, what's wrong? Xiao Jiyun did not spare her a glance, his eyes still fixed on me like a blade. She pouted and glared at me. Did you make Jiyun angry? He's never unhappy when he's with me. My revulsion grew stronger. I turned away, not wanting to utter another word. After a long moment, Xiao Jiyun dropped his hand. He closed his eyes in frustration, his body shrouded in a stormy aura. She knows better than to make me angry. Shun Shu. He left the words hanging cold in the air, then turned and walked away. The beauty scurried after him, cooing soft reassurances, their figures made for a perfect pair. Like a match made in heaven, the bullet comments blazed across my vision. My girl just refuses to soften up. She's pushing away the man who loves her with her own hands. Why not just say a few sweet words to the crown prince? Now that White Lotus has an opening, I give up. Someone's already writing stories about them and spreading them everywhere. Chapter 3. When I returned home, several close female friends were already waiting for me. How are you holding up? The whole city's talking about how your crown prince spent a fortune on his beauty. That crown prince is shameless. He said all those sweet things when he asked for your hand. And how long has it been? I've seen that woman. She dresses to the nines at every banquet, preening about having a powerful husband. Turns out she's just his mistress. He once said he'd never take concubines or bed servants, that he was a rare good man. I was blind. I chose my words carefully to calm my furious friends, then sent a maid to find out the latest gossip outside. The maid who returned had a look of pity on her face. The rumors were spreading every detail of the tug-of-war between Xiao Jiyun and me, and the ignorant common folk were saying even worse things. What are they saying about me? The maid hung her head. Miss, the outsiders don't know the truth. It's better not to listen. But under my unwavering gaze, she finally spoke. They say you're the mistress, and that Song Qin is the one the crown prince holds dear in his heart. They even say you're shameless, seducing a married man. I'd steeled myself for the worst, but the words still cut deep, an indescribable pain twisting in my chest. I'd married him with the full propriety of a formal wedding, yet in the mouths of others, I was a shameless whore. I dismissed the maid and curled up on the daybed. My eyes empty and unfocused. This scandal had escalated this far. It had to be Xiao Jiyun's doing. Did he really love me, as the bullet comments claimed? Was this his idea of love, allowing ignorant people to twist the truth and hurl endless abuse at me? I closed my eyes in agony. After a long while, I called for a few servants, my voice hoarse as I ordered them. Quell these rumors. Hurry. The bullet comments flared to life again. My poor girl. I can't take it anymore. If only she'd soften up and act coquettish, none of this would have happened. A bunch of brainless sheep, just following the crowd. Song Qin is the homewrecker. I'm so angry. The crown prince is going too far, but our girl is too independent. He just wants to see her rely on him, to be lost without him. I don't think these rumors can be quelled. Her real identity's probably been exposed, and the Shen family will blame her for it. My eyes lingered on the last comment for a long time. Sure enough, the servants I'd sent out came rushing back moments later. Miss, someone's been spreading the news non-stop outside. Every time we hush it up in one place, it gets even worse in another. We can't stop it. I said nothing, and the servant hesitated before speaking again. Miss, the crown prince has eyes and ears all over the capital. If he'd step in and help, But he was the one ruining my reputation, my husband, who was supposed to be my closest confidant, though. He wouldn't be for much longer. It was late by the time father arrived, his voice shaking with rage. "Shunshu, what is wrong with you? I wouldn't have known a thing if someone hadn't asked me." I calmed myself and met his gaze. "Xiao Jiyun has taken another woman. Is that my fault? Men having multiple wives and concubines is common. But how could you let this scandal blow up? How could you let that woman swagger around in front of you unharmed?" Father's voice rose sharply. I explained patiently, "Xiao Jiyun is the one spreading these rumors. He's the one keeping a mistress. Father, this has nothing to do with me." Father let out a cold laugh. "If you can't hold a man's heart, it is your fault." With those words, he turned and left. How noble and righteous he sounded. Once, Mother had offended the entire family to buy him a minor official position, and he'd gushed with gratitude to her. But it hadn't been long before he was only smiling with his new lover. And the old one's tears were forgotten. Was it a crime to love someone with all your heart? Chapter 4. That night, I had no choice but to go see Xiao Jiyun. Well, his tone was lazy, unconcerned. "Tell your men to stop spreading these rumors." My voice was soft, strained. He paused, his tone lifting into a taunt. "Why so listless? Are you heartbroken? What do you want?" I could no longer hold back. On the verge of breaking down, he said nothing. My voice cracked. "Does it make you happy? Does it satisfy you to watch my identity be exposed, to hear me called a whore, to see my whole family blame me?" I couldn't stop trembling as I spoke. How could there be such an unreasonable, insane man? After a long silence, Xiao Jiyun spoke slowly, his voice low. "Beg me. I'll help you. I can't bear to see you suffer like this." I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. I felt like a complete and utter joke. In the end, only 2 words escaped my lips, rough and dry with pain. "No." Xiao Jiyun repeated the word, his tone unreadable. "No, what do you mean, Shunshu?" His voice turned cold. "Let it end here." I pushed myself up and walked back to my room. He made as if to grab me, yet his anger seemed to get the better of him, and he ignored me entirely. I stumbled back into bed, my mind in a fog, unable to fall asleep for a long while. The rumors grew more absurd by the hour. By then, the concubines and distant relatives of the Shen family had all come to confront me, their words dripping with blame. A cousin spoke bluntly, her eyes sharp. "If you can't keep the crown prince's heart, then stop hogging the position. Don't you realize how much damage this scandal has done?" Once she'd opened the floodgates, the other younger kin chipped in one after another. A cousin stared at me with a look of blatant schadenfreude. "This is humiliating, being stepped on by a mistress. If I were you, I'd never dare show my face outside again. Heard the crown prince spent a fortune on his beauty. Did he ever do anything like that for you? Why not just ask to be sent away and be a discarded wife? At least that'd be more dignified." Silence fell after that, the others exchanging glances, each with their own selfish thoughts. I let out a bitter laugh. Ask to be sent away. Father still held the reins of the Shen family, and I was his only daughter. He would never let go of this chance to curry favor with a powerful noble clan. Their words made my head throb. I sent all visitors away, claiming ill health, yet some meddlesome servant still lingered before me, prattling on about the latest gossip. Xiao Jiyun had brought Song Qin to the family banquet. He'd thrown all etiquette to the wind, wrapping an arm around her waist in open affection. His brothers had raised their cups in cheerful toast on either side of them. What did it look like? A newlywed couple, inseparable and in love. The bullet comments surged like a tide before my eyes. "My girl, don't be sad, it's all an act. We all know the crown prince loves only you. That's right. He purposely let you find out about all this. He just wants to see you jealous. He's dying to see you. You turned him down last night, and his heart broken. Hurry to him, my girl. Tell him you're jealous, and he'll give you everything he has." I closed my eyes numbly, forcing the comments out of my mind. I don't know how long I lay there. Eventually, I dragged my cold, stiff body out of bed and sent someone to intercept the servant bringing the divorce decree. I would hand it to Xiao Jiyun myself. I needed a day to pack my things, unnoticed and undisturbed. After the banquet, I would mount a fast horse and leave this place of heartbreak behind. I would leave the divorce decree here, and never look back. I would escape from here, from Xiao Jiyun, and from father's control. Chapter 5. Everything went according to plan. I donned the newly tailored robe and stepped into the banquet hall. Several friends came over to comfort me. I paused for a moment, then said, "I'm fine." Suddenly, a commotion erupted not far away. We turned to look, and there was Xiao Jiyun, dressed in a black robe. His expression lazy, a faint smile playing on his lips. Song Qin clung to his arm, her eyes crinkling sweetly as she smiled. Ah, so this was what he'd meant by spending the banquet with her. My gaze fell to Song Qin's dress. It was the exact same style and cut as mine, when I'd ordered mine. The shopkeeper had told me it was a one-of-a-kind piece, never to be replicated. Has been made overnight, just for this. Xiao Jiyun was determined to humiliate me. Sure enough, the moment Song Qin saw me, her face contorted with anger, she bit her lip and whispered something to Xiao Jiyun, who finally turned his gaze to me. Unhurried, Song Qin stormed toward me in small, quick steps, her almond eyes blazing. "Did you do this on purpose? Wear the same dress as me. Do you really think this will make Jiyun look at you?" At the noise, the scattered guests in the banquet hall slowly gathered around us, their eyes alight with curiosity. My friend stared in shock, stepping forward. "Don't talk nonsense." Song Qin scoffed. "You're just jealous that Jiyun dotes on me. This cheap trick is disgusting, and you don't even look half as good in it as I do," my friend muttered quietly. "You do." Song Qin flew into a rage, rushing back to Xiao Jiyun and shaking his arm. "Jiyun, look at them. They're being so rude." Xiao Jiyun's dark eyes locked onto me, his gaze lingering for a long, long time. After what felt like an eternity, he curved his lips into a smile. The bullet comments erupted in an instant. The crown prince smiled. "He thinks our girl looks better in the dress. Eyes never lie. Heh, crown prince and my girl forever. I'll bring a bag of melon seeds to the wedding." But wait, the crown prince is going to push our girl to the edge to make her beg him, all pitiful and sweet, and then heal. I was still puzzling over the last comment when a voice suddenly rang out from a raised platform. Everyone turned to look. It was the Xiao family's accountant, and he spoke with a warm, smiling face. "By the crown prince's order, from this day forth, 30% of the profits from all his shops shall belong to Miss Song Qin. In addition, he bestows upon her 3 manors outside the city." The entire hall erupted in an uproar. My head shot up, my eyes wide with disbelief. The Xiao family was unimaginably wealthy, so wealthy I could not fathom the extent of it. 30%. It was enough to let Song Qin live in luxury for 3 lifetimes, and he had given it all to her. Had it announced for the entire world to see, right here and now. The bullet comments flashed across my vision in a frenzy. Here it comes. The mad crown prince's grand gesture. Poor our girl, being laughed at by everyone. She has no choice but to beg him now. That's right. Then our girl will have no choice but to stay by his side, helpless, and he'll have his way with her. So good, so spicy. What are you still holding on for, my girl? The crown prince loves you so much. Just slap Song Qin. Throw yourself into his arms, and act cute, bearing the mocking, watchful gazes of everyone around me. I walked step by step toward Xiao Jiyun. His eyes never left me for a single second. I stopped in front of him. He lowered his head, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. I curved my lips too, every word rolling slowly from my throat, clear and cold. "I have begged the emperor for a divorce decree. It will be in your hands soon." As for the alliance between the Shun and Xiao families, you may decide its fate for yourselves. I'm done playing your games. I met Xiao Jiyun's eyes, my face expressionless, and with those final words, I turned to leave. Xiao Jiyun's hand shot out, clamping down on my wrist so hard his knuckles whitened and his fingers trembled slightly. What do you mean, Shu? What do you mean by this? I did not turn back. Divorce. Do you not understand the word? I refuse, he roared, his voice tight with panic. Are you angry because I gave all these things to Song Qin? I frowned. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. You may give your things to anyone you please. That's not true. I spun around, impatient. His eyes were a stormy sea of black, his emotions roiling just beneath the surface. If you want it, everything is yours. There is no need for a divorce. Xiao Jiyun's gaze locked onto mine, his voice hoarse and desperate. I had no desire to argue further. Let go. I will never let you leave. He tightened his grip, his tone bordering on stubborn obsession. A soft whimper of pain escaped my lips. Just then, my friend stepped in front of me, her jaw set, her voice fierce. Xiao Jiyun, you may take as many mistresses as you like, but our Shun Shu will never share a roof with a courtesan. Song Qin shrieked. Who are you calling a courtesan? Jiyun loves me the most. My friend let out a cold laugh. Then why won't he let Shun Shu go and marry you instead? Song Qin froze, staring at Xiao Jiyun, her voice trembling with tears. Jiyun, what are you doing? You never liked her anyway. A divorce is exactly what you want. Xiao Jiyun did not spare anyone else a single glance. The corners of his eyes were faintly red as he spoke, his voice raw. Shun Shu, stop being childish. The Xiao family, everything is yours. What makes you think I want any of it? I retorted. I wrenched my wrist free from his grasp with all my strength. To linger here any longer would only delay my escape. I spoke coldly, flatly. I wish you two happiness. May you be together forever, and may you have many children soon. Xiao Jiyun's lips moved, as if he wanted to say something. I stepped back, my gaze sharp. Don't stop me. Don't make me look down on you. As I took a step toward the banquet hall's gate, the bullet comments flashed across my vision without pause. Huh. What's this twist? Isn't this supposed to be the happy ending? Isn't our girl supposed to live happily ever after with the crown prince? The crown prince messed up big time. Our girl is really, truly jealous. She's just walking away like that. Who knows what this mad crown prince will do? He'll probably kidnap her tomorrow. What? A captivity plot. Waiting eagerly. Of course I feared Xiao Jiyun's madness. That was why I had to seize this chance and run, as fast as I could. Chapter 6. I found a fast horse and fled. It was not until I was 10 li outside the capital that I finally let my guard down and fell into a fitful sleep. But in my dazed state, I felt the horse being forced to a halt. At that moment, I caught a whiff of a familiar scent, a scent that belonged only to Xiao Jiyun. My heart all but stopped beating. I slowly turned my head, and met a pair of pitch-black eyes, a single mole dotting the corner of one. His thin lips parted slightly. Where are you going? Xiao Jiyun's dark, deep eyes bore into mine, his tall frame casting me in his shadow. I closed my eyes. Tears seeped from the corners, one by one, sliding down my cheeks. The air fell into a deathly silence. Why are you crying? He hesitated for a long moment, then reached out, his fingertip brushing away the tear on my cheek. After an eternity, his expression grew complex and unreadable, his voice low and gruff. I will never let Song Qin appear in front of you again. He pulled me into his arms, that familiar scent wrapped around me, suffocating. I cried silently, my shoulders shaking. Xiao Jiyun tightened his arms, trapping me in his embrace. Chapter 7. His jaw rested on my neck, his breath warm against my skin. Never say the word divorce again, baby. Bullet comments. The crown prince is secretly over the moon. He finally saw our girl jealous and crying, all wronged. Whoever gave the crown prince this idea deserves a huge reward. Now our girl will be on tenterhooks around him every day, his sweet, obedient wife, Song Chin, Wah. Didn't you say I'm your favorite, Crown Prince? Thank you for making my wife jealous for me. I'm ecstatic. Reward her with everything. I spoke softly, my voice cold. Why did you follow me? I'm going to find the one I love. Xiao Jiyun's body stiffened. Then he calmly brushed the messy strands of hair behind my ear, his tone certain. Lying to make me jealous? Not everyone is as petty as you. I thought calmly to myself. I pushed him away. When we get there, I'll introduce you to. Xiao Jiyun ground his teeth. Seeing my expressionless face, he let out a bitter laugh. I don't like it when you lie about things like this. He gripped my jaw, his fingers digging in. Pretending you have someone you love, just to make me angry. Shinshu, you'll never have anyone else in this life. I wrenched my head free with all my strength, staring out the window at the pitch-black sky. Xiao Jiyun scoffed, his tone casual as if nothing had happened. I'll take you somewhere nice to play. An apology of sorts. When we go back, we'll hold another grand wedding. Let everyone in the world know you're my wife. The Crown Prince acts indifferent, but his heart's racing with impatience. When the Crown Prince heard our girl say she had someone she loved, his heart stopped. Thank goodness he caught on. Our girl could never love anyone else. Don't say things like that anymore, my girl. The Crown Prince can't bear to hear you talk about loving someone else. So this was how it was. Everything he'd done to me, and if I so much as returned a tenth of it, I was the one in the wrong. Chapter 8. When we reached the destination, I stepped down from the carriage first. Xiao Jiyun crossed his arms over his chest, a smug look on his face. Where's this person you love? Then, I paused for a beat. He raised an eyebrow, as if vindicated, and let out a low chuckle. All right, don't joke about this again next time. He'd clearly convinced himself I'd only said it to make him jealous and angry, until he saw the young man in the distance. I spoke, cool and calm. Here he comes, sister. The boy quickened his steps, trotting over to me. The moment he saw me, he took my bag from my hand and laced his fingers through mine. Xiao Jiyun's face darkened in an instant, his eyes blazing with rage. Who are you? Let go of her. I wrapped an arm around the boy's elbow, a cold laugh escaping my lips. Didn't I tell you? This is him. The boy's bright amber eyes darted between Xiao Jiyun and me, curious and unafraid. Just as I thought I might slip up, he squeezed my hand and bared his teeth at Xiao Jiyun. His chin tilted defiantly. Who are you? Why are you bothering my sister and me? The words had barely left his mouth when a fierce fist came hurtling toward him. I threw myself in front of him without a second thought. The fist froze, just a centimeter from my cheek. Xiao Jiyun's breathing was ragged and heavy, his face ashen with fury. Shinshu, I am your husband. My voice was light, dismissive. Didn't your steward tell you? You received the divorce decree. I never agreed to it. He ground the words out through clenched teeth. You don't need to, I said, my tone sharp with irritation. I laced my fingers through the boy's hand and smiled gently at him. Let's go. I've booked a room at the inn. A storm cloud settled over Xiao Jiyun's face, a bitter, mocking smile tugging at his lips. Shinshu, aren't you afraid you'll go too far, that I'll get tired of you and cast you aside? I stared at him for a long, silent moment, then I looked away. If anyone had gone too far, it was him. You'd better never come crawling back to me. His voice was hoarse, laced with a sick, twisted malice. He turned and walked away, his back rigid with resolve. No, don't leave, we're doomed. The Crown Prince is going to take his anger out on the Shen family, force our girl to beg him to come back. Our girl really went too far this time. Why did she have to use another man to make the Crown Prince angry? Sigh, my heart ached, a dull, throbbing pain. Why even the bullet comments were taking his side? Why was it that the same actions earned two completely different judgments, two completely different fates? I masked the agony in my eyes. The boy placed my hand in his face bright with a smile. Don't be sad, Sister, let me massage your shoulders for you. I pulled my hand away as if burned. No, thank you. And thank you for earlier, I'll pay you extra for your trouble. He nodded readily, his smile never fading. All right, thank you, sister. Chapter 9. It was only when we mounted the fast horse that I finally took a proper look at the boy behind me. Pale, smooth skin, a high, straight nose, sharp, defined features, and eyes that slanted slightly upward at the corners. He seemed to be smiling all the time, and he looked so young. How old are you? I asked. 19. What's your name? You can call me Xiao Shong. I nodded, saying nothing more. He was quiet for the rest of the journey. He never asked a single question about Xiao Jiyun. When we reached the restaurant, he pulled out a small notebook. I've written down our itinerary for the next few days here. Do you want to take a look? I cut him off mid-sentence. Do you need money? He blinked, startled. Yeah, I'm saving up to go to school. Why, sister? I met his bright amber eyes. And the words "I'll keep you" almost slipped out. In the end, I swallowed them back down. I couldn't be like Xiao Jiyun. To say that to him would be an insult, plain and simple. I shook my head silently, about to tell him I'd give him more money, when my gaze fell on the hair crown atop his head. I looked away just as quickly. Chapter 10. When I woke up the next morning and went downstairs for breakfast, snippets of news from the capital drifted to my ears. Nothing more than the Shun family's sudden downfall. I didn't need to ask to know it was Xiao Jiyun's doing. But what did it matter to me? I no longer considered myself a member of the Shun family. Even if the entire clan were arrested and their homes ransacked, it would have nothing to do with me. I knew this was just another one of Xiao Jiyun's tactics to force me back, but I was done complying. Xiao Shong sent a servant with a letter, asking me to meet him in half an hour to go sightseeing. But the familiar envelope made my brow furrow in confusion. I sat up straight. I stared at the letter for a long time, then burst out laughing. This was paper exclusive to the Xiao family. No wonder, by all rights, with Xiao Jiyun's temperament. He never would have let me leave with the boy last night. He would have dragged me back to the capital by force. No wonder Xiao Shong talked about saving up for school while wearing a gold-inlaid jade hair crown on his head. So that's what this was. Xiao Jiyun had personally sent his cousin, one I'd never met, to keep an eye on me. Was that all it was? Surveillance? As I pondered this, the bullet comments lit up my vision. So this stranger is his cousin. I didn't see this in the original plot. The Crown Prince is so conflicted right now. He wants his cousin to watch our girl. But he's terrified she'll actually fall for him. The Crown Prince was really angry last night. Ha ha ha. Even though he knew it was his cousin, he still lost his mind. He breaks down at the sight of any man near our girl. It's okay. Our girl will be back in the Crown Prince's arms soon. The cousin's going to drug the soybean milk he brings her, and the Crown Prince will swoop in to save her. Our girl will fall head over heels for him. Me. Chapter 11. A knock sounded at the door. I went to answer it, and Xiao Shong stood there, his face split into a wide smile. Good morning, sister. He shook the food box in his hand. I was afraid you wouldn't like the local breakfast, so I made this for you myself. I took the food box, forcing a smile. Thank you. I stepped aside to let him in. It wasn't long before a strange man appeared and called him outside. He followed, looking confused. Moments later, he came back, saying the man had mistaken him for someone else. I quickly swapped the food in front of us, pushing the other bowl toward him. He took it without a second thought, taking a sip before his brow furrowed slightly in distaste. I began to count down in my head. 10, 9, 8, 2, 1. The boy, who'd been wide awake and alert a moment before, crumpled to the ground in a dead faint. Chapter 12. When the man on the bed woke up, his eyes flew open in shock. His hands and feet were tied to the four corners of the bed. Awake, I see. I shot him a lazy glance. His face paled slightly as he stared at me. After a long moment, he broke into a smile. How did you know? Because the bullet comments had finally been useful for once. I lifted his chin with my index finger, my gaze lingering on his face. You're quite handsome, aren't you? Xiao Shong let me look at him. Docile as a lamb. Compared to my brother, I didn't answer, my gaze sliding down his collarbone, my fingertip brushing over his sharp, defined abs, lower still, to his mermaid line, sister. He pouted, if you're going to tie me up. Fine, but why take my clothes off too? I didn't answer his question directly, merely commenting, you're not as skinny as you look. Of course I'm not. Now that his cover was blown, the youthful exuberance from the night before was gone. All that remained was the haughtiness of a wealthy young master. I pulled his trousers down too. Him. I pushed the window open wide. Me. You wouldn't want anyone else walking in and seeing you like this, would you? His expression froze for a split second, then he let out a low laugh. Then they'll get to see how impressive I am. I'd be a little embarrassed, but it's fine by me. I pulled out the small knife I'd bought earlier. His face paled in an instant, his tone turning meek and pitiful. I'm sorry, sister, spare my life. What did Xiao Jiyun send you here to do? I demanded, my voice sharp. He let out a small gasp. To make sure no other men get close to you. And then what? Pretend to be a robber and attack you, so he can sweep in and save the day like a hero. I spoke slowly, my voice cold with contempt. Not a single one of you in the Xiao family is any good. Is there? Just then, the door was kicked open with a deafening crash. Chapter 13. Xiao Jiyun strode in, but his face contorted in shock the moment he saw the scene in the room. What the hell are you doing? I turned my head and smiled at him. Sweet and innocent. Your brother has a nice body. I quite like it. What did you say? Xiao Jiyun grabbed my wrist and yanked me to my feet, his eyes blazing with hatred as he locked onto Xiao Shong. You seduced her, didn't you? Xiao Xiaoshang let out a helpless laugh. If that's what you want to believe, sure. Xiao Jiyun threw a punch at him. Fuck. Do you have to hit that hard? Xiao Xiaoshang cursed. Tied up as he was, he could do nothing but take blow after blow. In the end, Xiao Xiaoshang lay on the ground, half conscious and looking utterly defeated. I'm going to tell uncle. I'm going to report you. When Xiao Jiyun finally stopped, he called a waiter to carry him to the medical hall. I watched it all with cold, unfeeling eyes. Chapter 14. The room was cleaned up. Once again, it was just Xiao Jiyun and me. I finally looked at him, my gaze steady and unflinching. I don't know if you're just bad at understanding people, or if you're choosing not to, but I'm not playing hard to get. And I'm not trying to make you jealous. I said I have someone I love because I wanted you to give up. I don't love you anymore. I don't want to be tangled up with you any longer. Do you understand? He froze, stunned into silence. I pointed at the spot where Xiao Xiaoshang had been lying. All the anger and disappointment I'd bottled up for so long finally spilling over. You had him drug me, just so you could play the hero and save me. Xiao Jiyun, don't you think that's despicable? I'm disgusted with myself for ever loving you. My voice rose to a shout, and by the end, I was retching, my body heaving with the force of it. He reached out to steady me, but I stepped back, away from his touch. I don't love you anymore, I said, my voice laced with bitter mockery. Stop deceiving yourself. If there's any feeling left between us, it's only hatred and loathing. Are you serious? Xiao Jiyun's eyelashes trembled, his voice fragile. I'm sorry. I didn't know you hated this so much. I'll never do it again. I laughed, bitter and cold, driven to it by his absurdity. Did he really think my only grievance was that he'd sent Xiao Xiaoshang to deceive me and drug my food? I snatched the letters and intimate silken garments Song Qin had sent that morning and hurled them at his face. Xiao Jiyun, there is no future for us. None. He stood frozen in place, his voice raw and hoarse. It was all an act. I only wanted to make you jealous. Horror flashed in Xiao Jiyun's eyes. I will make Song Qin pay for this. I swear it. I let out a cold snort. What you do has nothing to do with me. Leave me alone for good." He opened his mouth to explain, but his chest felt as if a boulder were crushing it, robbing him of breath and words. "Did you fall for Xiao Qiaoshang?" he whispered, barely audible. "None of you are worthy of my love," I shouted, my voice sharp with rage. "Stop torturing me. Every second you're near me makes me sick to my stomach." He tried to step closer, and in a fit of desperate resolve, I grabbed a cup, smashed it on the ground, and raised a shard of porcelain to face him. Still he came forward, unflinching, letting the sharp shard pierce his flesh, blood welling and streaming down his hand, his fingertips stretched toward my cheek. Unyielding. "What do I have to do?" he said softly, his voice breaking, "to make you forgive me? Disappear, completely, and never bother me again." I turned my head away, refusing to look at him. He fell silent. The metallic tang of blood filled the room, thick and cloying. I watched the red stream snaking across the floor, cold and unmoved. Chapter 15. "If you die here," I said flatly, "I'll have to deal with your corpse. It's too much trouble." "I was wrong," he said, his head bowed, his pale lips trembling. I wanted you to care about me, so badly." Xiao Jiyun's voice was a whisper. "No one ever taught me how to love someone, how to make them stay." I had no patience for his excuses, no desire to argue. He pressed his lips together, hard, as if steeling himself. "I will make it up to you, in every way I can." With that, he turned and walked away, his back thin and lonely, a defeated slump to his shoulders. I spoke his name, sharp and clear, "Xiao Jiyun." He spun around in an instant, a flicker of desperate hope lighting up his eyes. "Wipe up your blood," I said, my tone cold and indifferent. "You shouldn't make others clean up your mistakes." The light in his eyes flickered, dimmed, and died, snuffed out like a candle in the wind. He pulled a handkerchief from his sleeve, dipped it in water, and knelt to scrub the bloodstains from the floor, his movements slow and listless. I cast a lazy glance at him. "Lock the door when you leave." He let out a soft, broken hum. I did not lift my head until I heard the click of the door closing behind him. The room was empty, neat, the floor scrubbed clean and smooth, not a trace of blood left, as if he had never been there. Chapter 16. I had given Xiao Jiyun a divorce decree. In return, he sent me a property deed, notarized and signed over to me in full. Along with it came a chest crammed with jewel-encrusted jewelry, so bright it made my eyes ache, all of it priceless, all of it his. I flipped through the deed, stunned. Xiao Jiyun had given me every business, every asset he held as the crown prince of the Shen family, not a single thing left for himself, and then he appeared before me again. "Have you thought about it?" I said, my voice cool. "If I accept this gift, your Xiao family will never be the same again. You'll lose everything." "Xiao Shu," he said, his voice soft, tender. He hadn't called me that, not since Song Qin had come into our lives. "Do with it as you please," he said, a bitter, self-deprecating laugh tugging at his lips. "Keep it, destroy it, sell it, whatever makes you happy. I'll listen to you, always. If I were part of the Xiao family," I said, a cold smile on my face, "I'd kill you for this." He froze, silent for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was thick with regret. "I'm sorry, Xiao Shu, I'm so sorry." I said nothing, letting the silence hang heavy between us. He hesitated, then went on, his words tumbling out in a rush, as if he were afraid I'd cut him off. "You once said you loved shiny, beautiful jewelry. I found the most expensive pieces in the capital, everything I could get my hands on. That pair of earrings, I meant to give them to you, but you always seemed to have so many things to do, things that felt more important than me. I was stupid. I gave them to someone else, just to make you see me, to make you jealous. I regret it, more than anything." I spoke slowly, calmly, my tone unemotional. "I'll take the property. I won't sell it, not unless something urgent comes up. The jewelry is beautiful, I'll take that too. But you, Xiao Jiyun," I don't want you, not anymore. This is my apology to you, he said, his voice tight with sorrow. You think I don't love you enough, but I do. I love you more than anything. I used the wrong way to show it. I shrugged, picking up the deed and tucking it away. If you're giving it to me of your own free will, I have no reason to refuse. It's compensation for all the pain you've caused me, my mental damages, so to speak. Thank you. I said the last two words with perfect sincerity, cold and unfeeling. Chapter 17. Once, Xiao Jiyun and I had been happy, inseparable. When we were children, father had gone out on a trip and, in a ridiculous twist of fate, been caught in a kidnapping. He'd risked his life to save Lady Xiao, Xiao Jiyun's mother. She'd cried, tears streaming down her face, and asked him what he wanted in return. Anything he desired. Father, weak from his injuries, had said, I have a daughter. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of her, not forever. My father had always been a shrewd man. A debt of gratitude paid with money could be repaid and forgotten. But if the only son of the powerful Xiao family married his daughter, that would guarantee her a lifetime of wealth and safety, a future secure beyond measure. He'd left the rest unsaid, but Lady Xiao had understood, overcome with gratitude. She'd agreed on the spot, her voice firm. Yes, let Yuna marry your daughter. You are a good man, and your daughter must be just as kind, just as wonderful. But Xiao Jiyun and I had known each other long before that. We'd lived near each other, and he'd always loved to tug at my hair when he saw me. A childish way of getting my attention. I'd scowl at him, annoyed, and he'd grin, bright and cheeky, and say, Are you hungry? I'll buy you something sweet to eat. You're so annoying. I'd snap and storm off. He'd never minded, never given up. He'd bring me snacks every single day, without fail. Even the little trinkets other girls gave him, he'd hand them all to me, his eyes bright. I'd push them away, cold and unimpressed. I don't want other people's cast-offs. He'd blink, confused, then rush to explain. Then I'll only buy you things myself. From now on, nothing from anyone else. He'd made to throw the trinkets away, and I'd stopped him, sighing, If you don't want them, why accept them in the first place? You're wasting their money. He'd pouted, his lower lip sticking out, looking pitiful. I told them I didn't want them, but they insisted on giving them to me. It's like how you tell me you don't want my snacks, but I still bring them to you anyway. I'd fallen silent, unable to argue with that, and let him be. Later, I'd started going to school, and I'd barely known 100 characters then. The master had scolded me, calling me stupid, slow. Xiao Jiyun had rushed to my defense, his small face red with anger, shouting at the master, How dare you say that about her? She's the smartest girl in the world to me. The best, bar none. Me. Everyone else in the class had fallen silent, stunned. From that day on, I'd softened to him, a little. He was just a silly boy from a wealthy family, earnest and kind, in his own clumsy way. We'd walk to and from school together, played together, been inseparable. He'd called me Xiao Shu every single day, pressing stuffed cloth dolls into my hands, his eyes shining. It's fluffy, just like you, so cute, until one day, he'd come to me with a long, sad face. His shoulders slouched. I'd asked him, concerned, What's wrong with you? He'd groaned, miserable. My mother said I have to marry someone for the family alliance. I'm still a kid. I don't want to get married. I'd patted his shoulder, trying to comfort him. It's not so bad. It'll be a good match. Equal in status and family. He'd grumbled, his nose wrinkled in distaste. She said the girl's name is Xiao Shu. Phut, even if her name is Xiao Shu. How could she be as cute as the Xiao Shu right in front of me? I'd fallen.
Yes, the bullet comments. Maybe that's our purpose. I stared at that final comment for a long, long time, my heart softening. A weight lifting from my chest. Finally, I lowered my head and smiled, a small, genuine smile, the first in a long while. My dream had always been to open an embroidery shop, a place where women could learn a trade, earn their own money, have their own careers, their own freedom. But father had only sneered at the idea, his face dark with anger. A woman, showing her face in public, running a business. It's unseemly, a disgrace. I'd fought with him, screamed and argued. Until the house shook with our rage. He'd pointed at the door, his voice thunderous. If you dare open that embroidery shop, I'll disown you. I'll pretend I never had a daughter. I'd run for the kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife, and pressed it to my own neck, my eyes blazing with defiance. Fine. Then you can have a dead daughter instead. We'd stared each other down, a standoff that lasted for hours. In the end, he'd backed down, his face purple with rage, spitting out the words. I don't care about you anymore, but you must keep the crown prince happy. Keep the alliance strong, that's your duty. And now, Xiao Jiyun, in his foolish attempt to make me beg for his forgiveness, had destroyed the Shen family, ruining them completely. And just a few days ago, he'd come to me, tentative and nervous, his voice soft with hope. Do you need me to fix it for the Shen family? I'd cut him off, sharp and clear. No, I don't. I was going to live a different life. A life of my own making. And anyone who stood in my way, anyone who tried to hold me back, they would be gone from my life. For good. Chapter 19. My ruthlessness, my refusal to look back, had consequences. The remaining members of the Shen family came crawling back to me, desperate and angry. My cousin, her voice shrill with panic, grabbed my arm and shook it. Cousin, tell your husband to stop. Is he insane? He's destroying the Shen family, ruining all of us. Make him stop. What good does the fall of the Shen family do you? Without your natal family, how will you stand your ground in the Xiao family? My cousin begged, his voice desperate. Sister Xiaoshu, we know you and brother-in-law have made up. Please stop targeting us. Okay, I replied coolly. Even if he hadn't acted, I would have brought the Shen family down sooner or later. I'd had a new trouble lately. It was bad enough that Xiao Jiyun pestered me every single day, all on his own accord. Now Xiao Qiaoshang had followed too. He'd somehow found my address and showed up to pester me every now and then. Unsurprisingly, Xiao Jiyun found out, and the two of them got into another fight. I wanted nothing to do with either of them. Still, their pestering wasn't too frequent, and the occasional gifts they sent were actually to my liking. Why refuse free things? Until one day, as I stepped outside, a sharp dagger lunged straight for me, but the expected pain never came. Someone rushed over from the side and pushed me to the ground. A wave of thick, metallic blood hit my nose, so foul it made my brows furrow in disgust. I looked up and saw who held the dagger. My father, his face contorted with rage. I raised you for nothing. You ungrateful wolf. I'll kill you, you heartless brat. Xiao Jiyun clutched his bleeding abdomen with one hand and shoved my father away hard with the other. Soldiers arrived in an instant, pinning my father down and restraining him. I stared at him, my eyes cold as ice. To have a father like you is the greatest misfortune of my life. He was dragged away, screaming and thrashing in a blind, broken rage, his struggles futile against the soldier's grip. Spend the rest of your life in prison, I said, a cold smile on my lips. Chapter 20. For the sake of basic humanity, I sent Xiao Jiyun to the medical hall. He clung tightly to my hand the entire way, cold sweat beading on his forehead from the pain. I glanced at him and asked, did you pay him a sum of money to stage this hero-saving the beauty act for you? Xiao Jiyun stared at me, stunned and hurt. His fingers trembled helplessly. Why you? That's what you think of me. You've done it before, I said indifferently, tearing my gaze away from him. There was a faint sob in his voice as he stammered. I didn't. I cut him off. No matter what, he's in prison now. I'm satisfied with this result. He leaned weakly against my shoulder, his voice barely a whisper. How could I gamble with my own life for a trick? I'll leave you some money. I'm leaving as soon as we find the doctor. All the strength seemed to drain from Xiao Jiyun's body. Tears streamed down his face uncontrollably as he muttered softly. I'm sorry, Xiaoshu. I'm really, truly sorry. I said nothing in reply. He let out a bitter, broken laugh. I brought all this on myself. It's all my fault. Chapter 21. When we stepped out of the medical hall, the sun was shining brightly in a clear blue sky. I squinted, raising a hand to shield my eyes from the sunlight. I was about to wander around the neighborhood when I heard a soft cry. A young girl sat huddled on the ground, her head bowed. I don't want to get married, I want to study. Can't I have my own dreams? She broke down into loud sobs as she spoke. I patted her on the shoulder. If you're firm about your dream, then go for it. I can help you. She stared at me in stunned disbelief. Just then, Xiao Jiyun chased after me from behind, hurrying to catch up. I looked at him, my face expressionless. Aren't you afraid your wound will split open? He shook his head, his voice still hoarse from pain. I'm afraid if I look away for a second, someone else will sweep you off your feet. I rolled my eyes. The girl followed me closely, her eyes bright with hope. Pretty sister, can you really help me? I'm hardworking. I promise I won't let you down. I smiled at her. I can. A bright, relieved smile spread across her face too. While I sent Xiao Jiyun off to buy some water, the girl asked curiously, nodding at his retreating figure, is he your boyfriend? He's so handsome. I ruffled her hair gently. No, he's not. I paused for a moment, then added, my voice soft but firm. As long as you never lose your way, there will be plenty of men like him in your future, even better ones.